So Suki just grabbed my breast from behind. And why are they in front of the stall instead of behind the stall? Suki reaches out and cups my breast, her eyes glittering wickedly. We are all madly in love. Ah, Suki. I tried to squirm free from her touch, embarrassed. Being groped in private is one thing. Suki often examines my breast when she wants good reference images for her artwork, but being groped in public in front of all these people is an entirely different matter. This is embarrassing. Oh, no, but you usually love it when I touch you like this, darling. Suki pinches my nipples beneath the fabric of my shirt and I squirm. Ah, Suki. You sound so cute when you moan like that, Nekohime. I'm not moaning. Then what about now? Suki nibbles the shell of my ear with her teeth, toying at it so I squirm. Yeah. You're definitely moaning now. Your chest is racing and falling so much and your face is all red. You really are cute, Nekohime. My own adorable kitty. Suki licks my ear with an increasing intensity while I gasp. My head is spinning. For some reason, my heart won't stop pounding. There, you see? Suki looks back at the customer, a challenging grin on her lips. Nekuri is my cute pet and I love her a lot. I'm sorry, but you can't touch her. She belongs to me. I see. Yes, that does make sense. It makes perfect sense. Does it? It doesn't make much sense to me, but what do I know? My legs feel so weak that I can hardly support my own weight. My head is spinning. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry for my poor conduct earlier. If I'd known Nekohime was in a committed relationship with another cute girl, I wouldn't have tried to touch her. Now I see the error of my ways. I just hope you can forgive me. The customer bows so deeply his forehead smacks against the table with a loud thud. If people weren't staring at us before, they definitely are now. It's one thing for a man like me to appreciate a cute lesbian love story when it's in a visual novel. But it's quite another for me to come between actual flesh and blood women who adores one another. I hope you can forgive me for trying to insert myself into your lily garden. It's alright if you find any weeds, we just need to prune them. What? That's right, that's exactly right. Compared to the radiance of your pure romance, I am nothing but a weed. I'm not worthy to witness a sight such as this. Now in penance for my actions, please let me buy 5 copies of Miko Maid. 5 copies? But of course. Suki removes her hand from my breast finally and shouts the customer a winning smile. That be Suki rattles off an extortion price that doubled what we charged our other customers, but the man doesn't blink an eyelid. He reaches into his wallet, swayed by the sun of pure love he was fortunate enough to witness, and hands his own money without comment. Suki wraps 5 copies of Meek Made into a cellophane wrapper, then hands them to the man. Here you go. It was a pleasure doing business with you. Oh no, the pleasure was all mine. I never forget this day, not as long as I live. Thank you for letting me witness something so wonderful. I really have been blessed. I tell all my friends about you and buy lots of copies of the game. I promise. I'm going to make you all rich. With this promise, the troublesome customer finally walks off. At least that one customer dealt with, but there's still a huge line cleaning up at our table, and I think it's gotten even bigger. I can catch a few snippets of conversation about the sound of my own tired breathing. Did you see that? She really groped her boobs. Is that what the girls do with their friends? Yeah, man, didn't you hear? They're lesbians. They're real lesbians. I didn't know a woman like that existed behind the pages of Yuri manga. Hey, don't call them women. That doesn't sound half as cute. I got to call them girls instead. Huh? But aren't they in their 20... Shh, don't spoil the fantasy. They're also cute. Watching cute girls fawn over other cute girls is the best. They might be even cuter than the characters in their games. My heart's racing like a mile a minute. Here's settle sit, I absolutely need to buy this game. I take 2 copies. I take 5. It's this is the best day of my life. Well, would you look at that? I think we got an even more famous or infamous. Does it really matter when it comes to business or publicity is good publicity? I'm not sure about that. I didn't really want my shares being grouped in public. I don't want to be turned into an attraction. I am a human being too, you know. I know, and I'm sorry. I just figured it'd be the easiest way to get that guy to stop bugging you without making him mad. And it worked, didn't it? Yeah, I was really happy about the little show we put on. Maybe he was happy, but as for me... What? You mean you didn't enjoy my affection? Your affection is fine, but I don't like all the attention that came with it. I heave a heavy sigh. I came here to market Mikome too, not myself. I don't want people buying my products because they think we're going out. I'd rather be judged based on the quality of the game we made, that or personality or sexual preferences. You're so naive, Nekohime. What do you mean? Talent isn't enough to sell products. Personalities are important too. We might selling a visual novel, but we also need to give our fans a bit of a show that the best way to get their eyes on us. Don't worry about the moral scrubs too much. Just go along with it. That's easy for you to say. Suki wasn't the one who got felt up before a large crowd of over-eager men. I was. Doing stuff like that in private is one thing, but turning it into a show? I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, it made me feel kind of icky. And again, the whole convention is pretty icky. It's so hot and there's too many people there and it's all way too loud. At least I haven't run into anybody who hates me yet, but that intense phone was as frightening. Who knew it was a possibility to be liked too much? Yes, the convention is going to be the death of me. You can shuffle off this mortal coil later. Nekohime, right now we have games to sell. That's right, we have sell games. We worked hard on Mikome 2, so I need to smile. Hey miss, can I buy a copy of Mikome 2? Of course, coming right up. And I must say, you really are cute. Thank you. This all feels way too fake, yeah, almost like it was scripted. It's a shame I'm such a poor actress. 4 hours later. It's almost 5 p.m., huh? That's right. I'm beat. At least the crowds have started to thin out a little. Our table was jam-packed with people from morning until midday, but it's gotten really crazy after that incident with the overzealous fan. People who weren't even interested in Mikome flocked in to our table, just desperate to catch a glimpse of the legendary Lily Garden. We sold almost all our stocks already, and the convention isn't even over yet. It's insane. My stomach's growling. I could sure go for a steak. I think I'd prefer traditional Japanese food myself. What about you, Nekohime? Are you hungry? Starving. Maybe we should go out to eat when we're finished up here. Then is there anything you want? You asking me? Yeah, I figured I should after I pulled that stunt with you earlier. I know groping you like that wasn't very nice, so no matter what my reasons were, so I wanna make it up to you. We can eat absolutely anywhere, it's my treat. But if you're in the mood for sushi, I totally go for that. Sushi isn't nearly filling enough after everything we've done today. Suki, I need a steak or a nice juicy burger. I know actually why sushi aren't that filling. It's just because it's raw. Raw food doesn't fill you up as well as cooked food. That is the truth actually. I actually know that because I actually like to eat smoked food. Like bacon. It's smoked in some kind of way, and because of that you can eat it raw, but the raw textures and so stays. And well, raw bacon I like eating, but it's not very filling in the manner of food. No, sushi, steak, sushi. I wish my head hurts enough as it is without Suki and Clover arguing like this. They usually get along so well. When it comes to food, however, they go at it like cats and dogs. Clover loves steaks and burgers and fries, while Suki prefers traditional Japanese food like sushi or eel over rice. As for me, I don't want a steak or sushi. I far prefer sweets. Let's put aside what we want for now. I asked Nekohime, not you. Where do you want to go to eat? Let's see. Well, I don't like sushi. I don't like raw fish at all, and I don't eat sweets very often. Only time I eat anything that's sweet or so is mostly out of courtesy, but never out of actually wanting it. So steak sounds pretty good. Although, to be honest, part of me doesn't want to bother with food. It seems like too much hassle. Fortunately, the first day at Manga Market will end soon, and in another half hour I finally be free. First, however, I need to deal with a few more customers. Excuse me, could I buy a copy of Mikame too? Oh sure, that'd be... I recite the amount of money I got memorized by now, and the customer hands me over 2 bills. I wrap up a copy of the game and give it to him, and he smiles in return. Thank you very much, miss. The man bows politely, clutching the game to his chest. And I just wanted to let you know I'm a big fan of the first Miko made. You are. That's right, it was a bit rough in the places, but I can tell you poured a lot of effort into it. If I may be so bold to ask, I was wondering, what did you do during the game production? I was the writer of... I'm Nekohime. Nekohime, well, you did a great job. You really think so? Your art was a lot of fun. I really brought the artwork to life. Was Mikame the first story you've written? Yes, that's right. It was my first attempt to craft a story, so please forgive me if there were any issue with the writing. There are probably a few typos that slipped my notice, and maybe some of the sentences don't make any sense, but I still put a lot of effort into it. Well, there were a handful of typos, yes, but for an amateur product, that's to be expected. I think you did a good job. Thank you very much. I bow to the can cause my face burning. I can't believe this man said so many nice things about my story. I'm so happy I feel like I'm floating on a cloud. The man walks off. I watch the retreating back, beaming with an ear to ear. My heart's still hammering and I feel light-headed. He praised me. I feel like I did back in high school when my classical literature teacher complimented my essay about Rashomon. It's a little embarrassing to be singled out like this, but it feels good too. Hey Nakama, what's up? Oh, nothing, I'm fine. Are you sure? It doesn't look like nothing to me. Your face is bright red. You weren't flirting with our customers, were you? Flirt? Me? I would never. I'm dating Clover and I don't have time for anybody else. She has a very domineering personality and she takes up all of my free time. I don't have the mental capacity to pursue even more romantic relationships. I wasn't flirting, it was more, this guy. You're blushing over a guy, huh? Clover grins and nudges me ribs in her elbow. I didn't know you swung that way. What happened to all the tragic poems that used to send me when you were back in high school about your lonely lesbian lifestyle? Don't bring those poems up now, you dummy. And my face was red before, it's crimson now. And it was, and I'm still a lesbian. I wasn't attracted to the man, but, well, he said some nice things about me. About your body? No, we might sell porn games, but not everything revolves around sex. He didn't talk about my body. Instead, he spoke about my writing. He said my writing had promise, and he liked it. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but, well, it's hard to explain. I served hundreds of customers today, but only a handful commented on the writing. Those who did mainly mention sex scenes and how hot they thought they were. Suki's art's good, got a lot of compliments, but I was pretty much ignored. That customer, however, he was different. He was kind of supportive, and it just made me feel happy, I guess. You should be happy. If you aren't content with your own work, you can't expect anybody else to like it. Clover's right, you have to be confident. You can do it, Nekohime. We believe in you. We cheer you on too. Go, Nekohime. You guys. Jeez, I feel so flattered. My eyes are beginning to tear up. I've never been a very confident person. I always thought my confidence was akin to arrogance, and I didn't want to lord my supposed superiority over others. But maybe I was wrong. It's important to have faith in your own abilities. If we don't, we get swayed too easily by the words of others, and we shrink into ourselves. I can improve a bit by bit at my own pace while people cheer me on. Maybe you two are right. I can do this after all. I just need to keep going, keep doing my best. That's the spirit. You can do it, Nekohime. You just need to hold your head high and never show your face around here ever again, you talentless hacks. Ah! I whip my head about, searching for the source of unexpected commotion. It doesn't take me long to find it. A girl is standing by a table, her hands pressed against her hips, her eyes are narrowed, and she looks at us with utter disdain. I don't know who she is. I never met her before in my life. She's a perfect stranger, but she sure seems to know me. So you're the girls who wrote Miko Maid, are you? That's right, we are. And I might ask what your name is, young miss? My name is Kurumi. Like even care. It doesn't even matter. I didn't come here to talk about me. Instead, the girl stands her fingers in our direction. I came here to talk about you. It doesn't matter how a thing is written. Everyone writes as they actually self-want, and some people appreciate it, some don't. If I think writing a sexual novel, though, is very more successful than writing any other kind of story, considering all people have perversions, and in sexual novels, those perversions can be fulfilled. And what do you wish to discuss? Is there anything I can help you with, or I would be more than happy to? Oh, can it? You ugly old hag. Old hag? That's right. You're way too old to waste your time writing stories about cute young girls like me. How dare you? Suki clenches her fingers into a fist at her side. Her body trembles with ill-suppressed rage. I'm not an old hag. I'm only 24, and my age should be of no concern to you. Now, if you want to insult us, I would suggest going back to your online image boards and leaving us in peace. No way, I never get in peace as long as frauds like you are racking in money from ill-educated fans who don't know any better. And there I would grab her by the collar that she apparently don't have and drag her out, but she has a scarf and I drag her by that right out the door and throw her out. Now wait a minute here. You might be cute, but you have no right to talk to us like that. I have every right. I'm a paying customer. Kurumi puffs out her impressive chest. I bought your first game when it came out and I was absolutely garbage. I can't believe I wasted my hard-earned money on something so terrible. Kurumi's angry remarks are starting to draw some attention. People will watch us whispering among themselves, intrigued in the drama that being stirred up before their very eyes. Hey, what's going on? It looks like this girl has a beef with that circle. Has that circle been scamming people? Who are they anyway? Aren't they the girls who made Miko Maid? Miko Maid, I've heard of that. Isn't that a porn visual novel? Yeah, it's got pretty popular last year. So Miko Maid really was written by a woman. I thought it was just a rumor. Nah, man, it's on their official website. They've always been open about being woman. I know, but it's not like anybody believed them. They've started to attract quite a crowd. Curious whispers buzz on their air like a hive of bees. I shrink back shyly, wrapping my arms around my middle as for protection. I don't want to be the center of attention. Why is this happening? Miko Maid is an absolute horrible visual novel. It's hardly deserved to be called as such. It was obviously bumped out in under a month. The art is sloppy, there weren't any sound effects, and writing. That's the worst offender of all. Whoever wasted their time working on an excuse of a script should be ashamed of themselves. I bite my lower lip. I don't want to cry. I can't afford to burst into tears in front of all these strangers. I don't want to give Kurumi the satisfaction. That would be way too embarrassing. But Kurumi sure knows how to hit me where it hurts. There are dozens of companies out there who work much harder than you. A company can't produce half as good novels as a single person could. Because I noticed mistakes in the Sakura games. I noticed every single mistake. But if one person is only working on a novel, they work 10 times harder than any of the companies that do. I believe that a single person can produce a better novel than any company ever could. There are individual novels with complex branching plots, a large cast of well-fleshed out characters, and thought-provoking themes. But they're all left in the wayside. They don't get the attention they deserve, while badly written trash like Miko Maid flourish. You're dragging the industry down with your low-effort stories and giving everybody involved in the industry a bad name. Why don't you bow out the visual novel scenes while you still can? That's the only way to preserve what little self-respect you still have. While polluting something I love, I wish you all disappear. I press my hands against my chest, my heart is hammering hard, and I feel unwell. My legs are shaking. I feel like I'm going to collapse. The voices swirling around us aren't helping either. A few people are even holding up their phones, their screen pointed at Kurumi's angry face. They are filming this, aren't they? I hope not. Hey Nekohime, are you okay? I want to reply. I don't want Clover worrying about me. I can't afford to be a burden, but... Though I open my mouth, no sound comes out. I can't speak. Nekohime, hey, get it together. Cold sweat trickles down my forehead. I'm having a panic attack. I've never been very good at dealing with stress, but having a meltdown in public is making me feel even more stressed than I was before. Alright, that's quite enough out of you. I have no obligation to sit here and listen to your cruel words. You're upsetting Nekohime and you're upsetting me too. Well, good. You deserve to be upset. Maybe it gives you a little humility. Okay, there I would actually beat her up. Of course I'm a guy, so I can't actually beat up a girl, but I would at least punch her once. Because she deserves it at that point, definitely. Besides, I have every right to complain. I'm a customer. I paid a good money so I can have my opinion. Who cares if I'm hurting your precious feeling? If my words bother you so much, you never should have published your visual novel to begin with. She haven't even paid. She haven't even paid yet. When you release products, particularly commercial ones, you should expect people to criticize you. That's just common sense. Even super famous celebrities get criticized. What makes you immune from it? If you can't handle the heat, you should get out of the frying pan. It's not that I can't take the heat, Kurumi. I'm used to being criticized. Compared to my grandmother, your words are almost kind. My grandmother is far, far harsher on me than you could ever be. You haven't upset me, but you are making a fool out of yourself. There are ways to voice one's disappointment without resorting to the personal insults. And as for your argument that we don't deserve our success, why do you think you should be the one who gets to decide what projects sell and what don't? I know there are a lot of high quality games that don't sell nearly as many copies as they should. It's sad, especially when people work so hard on their projects, but that isn't my fault. I have nothing to feel guilty about. That's just the way the market is. Now back off before you say something that really makes me lose my temper, and I do something I regret. Ha. Ha 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 ha. So you're threatening me now. Is that how low you've fallen? What of it? I haven't told you to disappear yet, unlike certain somebody, but it should be fine if I return the favor. If you can't handle the heat, you should step out of the frying pan. It's that simple. Why you bitch? Don't get big-headed. There are hundreds of porn visual novels out there. You're just a flavor of the week. In due course, you'll be replaced just like that. You're not special or important. You're certainly not talented. You might lucky your way into a bit of success, but it's all coming crashing down soon enough. Sure, maybe that will happen. All good things have to come to an end. But at least I can hold my head high and say how I had fun while it lasted. I was able to make stories with two very dear friends of mine. We shared a lot of fun, happy memories together, which is worth even more than money. Making these visual novels has enriched my life. But no matter what happens to us, you'll always be a sad, jealous person who has to drag others down. It's no wonder you came to this convention on your own. I doubt you have many friends. You're cute, but your personality is completely rotten. You bitch! You bitch! I'll make you pay for this. You'd better watch your backs, cause I'm not going to forgive you for this. Kurumi turns around, her nose stuck up in the air, and marches off. At least that's what she intends, but... she tripped. She falls forward, shrieking an alarm, and lands on the ground with a thud. So that was all for this episode of it. I actually did a mistake in the game, so well, it's a little bit rougher than usual. I accidentally did not minimize, didn't make the screen smaller, so I just played the whole back while it's recording. So I have next one gonna be something here, but at least that was all I have for Sakura made this time. Then so hit like a subscribe. I mean, no, Sakura. That was all I have for Sakura Gamer 2 this time. So at least hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.